Hi everybody, welcome to Being Kambua. So happy that you are here. It is yet another beautiful day where I get to bring you amazing conversations. I really love your feedback, you people. I love when you tell me, Kambua, bring us so-and-so. Kambua, we want to talk about this. Kambua, bring this person again. You know, all of that is such useful information. And we read your comments on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. We respond to most of them. And I really appreciate you for being a community that is kind, even when you're putting a point across, respectful, because we have very sensitive conversations that happen on this podcast. And we have to keep that in mind even as we respond to our guests and to some of the conversations that we have, that we remember to ultimately to keep things respectful. I love that, and I always tell you this, that I pull my guests from people that I know, some people that I don't know, but I'm always so surprised when people say yes to me, even people that I know, because you don't take for granted when someone says, yes, I will come and I will share my story with you. It takes so much to dig deep and share your story publicly with people. But the reason we do that is because we are aware that our stories are not just for us, they are for other people to glean from, to draw strength from. Allow me to say a big thank you to Dusit Princess, because this space is just so beautiful. This is the executive lounge, by the way. So if you're wondering, okay, where can I have a high-level meeting, blah, 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 this is a good place to visit, all right? And thanks also to Trudy for just doing such a great job in putting this podcast together. My name is Kambua, in case I have not told you, and today I am joined by somebody I have known for many years, Shiko Asoksi. So good to have you.
So good to be here, Kambua. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. And you look so beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, I was telling Shiko, I don't know how long I've known you, because
Forever.
I've known Soxy for a long time.
When I was being Katiwa.
But yes, by Soxy. That's a long time ago. And then today I'm like, a few minutes ago, I'm like, Shiko Asoksi, what's your name?
What's my real name?
Because I feel like we just stuck with that, Shiko Asoksi.
Yeah.
Tell us your real name.
Real name. Real ID name.
Real ID name.
Actually, my ID changed.
Okay.
I was Anne Wanjiko Waishigo, my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm Anne Wanjiko Kamau. So Kamau is Soxy. Soxy also has a real name.
Because there are people who think it's his ID name, Soxy.
Yes.
Yeah. You've said ID name ya Soxy nimekumbuka. I think he told us a really funny story about his ID picture.
It was horrible.
It was a bad one.
It was horrible. Thank God sijui litaruka ikapotea. He needed to get it was bad.
Oh my goodness, how are the kids?
They are awesome. They are growing. We thank God. It's been such an amazing journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want us to go, to just start from, before we even get to the kids and talking a little bit about them, because I know the conversation will center heavily around kids and you having kids. Let's pull back to ulitoana na Soxy wapi?
So Soxy nilimjua mimi tukiwa high school.
Oh.
I was in State House. He was in Dagoretti High School.
Yeah.
He used to katia my friend. And if he was here, he'd tell you, I snatched him from my friend, which is a lie.
That's his version of the story.
So he was in the band, in the school band, and I was in Rangers. So you know how Moide, Kenyatta Day, you go walk in front of the president and the band is playing. So I'd meet him there. He'd give me a letter to take back to my friend in school.
Yes.
So I just knew there's this guy Soxy in Dagoretti High School who katias my friend.
Yeah.
So we finished high school, forgot about it. Then when I'm working, I bump into him. He had opened an account. I was working at a bank, and it had a problem. So the guy from high school.
Yes.
So took him to the person who needed to sort him out. And as we say, the rest is history.
Oh
he took my number.
Yeah.
He took my number. Because if he was here, he'd change the story. He took my number. He called me. We had the first date, the second date, the third, the fourth. And here I am.
I am glad it is you I'm hearing this story from.
Soxy would change it.
I believe you, by the way. So you guys, what year was it that you guys got married?
We got married 2011. Imagine
Yes.
we are turning 14 years this.
It's been that long.
Wow.
I remember singing at your wedding. Let me tell you, these guys had a beautiful wedding.
Thank you.
It was Indian.
It was Indian themed in the park.
In the park. Me, I was like, people get married in the park. Like, we were ferried into the park, and I seen this guy's lens from like 14 years ago. Was it your idea or Soxi's?
It was Soxi's, because you know Soxi's in events.
Yes.
So he had done a wedding there. And he kept on telling me, we have to have our wedding at the... I mean, I'm thinking, lions, Sijui who come into our wedding and we hadn't invited them. Yeah, so he's the one who had seen the idea, and he really, really loved it. Yeah.
So you guys get married. Before you got married, had you had a conversation about kids? Or was it just one of those unspoken things? Or tutajua tukiendelea?
So I started dating Soxy 20. Oh my God, will I remember? It's been a while. But I remember when 2 years in, we started dating 2007.
Yeah.
2 years in, 2009, I was diagnosed with PCOS. So yes, we are dating, but the guy looks serious.
Yeah.
So I decided, let me tell this guy this has happened.
Okay, wait. So what led up to you being diagnosed with PCOS? Yeah.
So what happened? My periods were regular. They were the most amazing, Yani. You know how you remember of that boyfriend? That's how my period was.
Oh, wow.
Right on time. You know, it would come. It not painful. Just amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about. Then one day it just disappeared. So month 1 it disappeared. I was like, okay, that's strange.
Yeah.
Month 2. I'm like, okay. Month 3,
yes.
I'm like, okay, now I need to go get checked. So I went to hospital. I won't name the hospital because they treated me so badly.
Oh, no.
So I went to this hospital. They told me I was 27 years old.
Yeah.
So the doctor looked at me straight in the eye, told me, you're 27.
Yeah.
You don't have a child. You might never have a child.
Oh, wow.
And then he asked me, I remember he asked me, what family planning pill are you on? I had never used family planning pills. So he's like, so now which one do you want me to put you on? I'm like, why are you putting me on family planning? And you've just told me I'll never have children. So anyway, I left with the pills, went so confused. This big name, polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. So I just told Soxy, and I told him, now me, I'll never be able to have children. I need to get a child now.
Yeah.
So you tell me whether we are getting a child now or not. Soxy bounced. It's like, I'm not doing this. So Soxy left. We broke up, I think, for like 2 months.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, later, I bump into a good guy now.
Yes.
So this good guy now is the one now who has, taken care of me since.
Yes.
So he just explained to me, it's not a death sentence. Doesn't mean you'll never have children.
Okay.
We just need to manage.
Okay.
So I started working with him now from there.
Yeah.
So now after we got married, now we needed to get now other options of what do we need to do now that I'm married, and we need to look for a child.
For a child.
Yeah.
Okay, so Soxy has broken up with you for about 2 months because you sort of gave him an ultimatum.
Yeah, I want a child.
Yeah, because this chapter is looking. But what did treatment, because you started on treatment, you started working with a doctor.
Yes.
What does that treatment look like, and what is it supposed to do to your body?
Okay, so PCOS doesn't have a treatment per se.
Yeah.
So when you meet with your gyna, so let me take you through the diagnosis.
Yeah.
You do a scan.
Okay.
So it's a 3-step.
Yeah.
They need to do a scan, check your ovaries. If you have, some don't. So if your ovaries have, they call them cysts, but they're like follicles. So what happens with PCOS, we do not ovulate per se. You know ovulation, the egg leaves the ovary, comes through the fallopian tube, then it dissolves, and now you have your period.
Yeah.
So our eggs get stuck in the ovary because they are not mature.
Okay.
So when they look on a scan, they will see many tiny things on your ovaries. So they will check that.
Okay.
You might have, you might not have.
Okay.
I had so many, especially on my right ovary.
Yeah.
The second one, they'll do a blood test. So the blood test is to check if your hormones are being released at the correct time.
Yeah.
So every woman, let's say day 1 of period, there's a particular hormone supposed to be at play. Day 2, whatever.
Yes.
So most of the time they do it between day 2 and I think day 4. Of the, if I'm not wrong, I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
So they will check,
Yeah.
and they will check if you have testosterone.
Okay.
So what happens with PCOS? We tend to have an elevated level of the male hormones.
Testosterone.
So to not scare people,
both
male and female, we all have the same hormones.
Correct.
It's just that my estrogen will be maybe 90%.
Yes.
The Soxy's estrogen will be 2%.
Kidogo. Yeah.
Yes. But and our testosterone the same. So when they check our testosterone, they usually see it's a bit elevated, and that now causes all the drama in the system. So they check your hormones through the blood, and they will see some elevation, or most likely, actually, everyone, they will see something off.
Okay.
The third one, now they will check the symptoms, and the symptoms is you're not getting your menses, you're getting some beard, you're losing your hair, obesity as well, because it affects your insulin, acne. So they will see all these other symptoms that come with it. So once they do that 3-step, they'll be able to tell you for sure you have PCOS.
So apart from, when you now look back, apart from your periods, which were an obvious huge red flag, what else do you now recognize this was as a result of the PCOS?
I had so many of things. So I got diagnosed 2009. 2007, I just started producing milk from, like I'm breastfeeding. What? Yes. So it was coming out, and of course it was fascinating, because I'm wondering, what? It's white. So I would press, you know, and I tell my mom, imagine natoa maziwa. Then I was like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I ended up going to the gynae, got medication, then it went. But it was just a sign my body is not operating how it should. So they also checked my thyroid, because the thyroid can also cause such issues.
Okay.
I had acne. I had horrible acne. If you can remember my rosacea.
I remember that.
It was just horrible. I had horrible...
But you're still so beautiful.
Thank you. I had horrible acne. So when I look at such obesity, I would really yo-yo. Even now, I'd yo-yo so much with my weight. I'd lose, you meet me today, you're like, Yes. You meet me tomorrow, you're like, Yeah.
You know, that's so important, because I think, and especially as women, sometimes we are so unkind to each other without knowing what's going on in our bodies. You know, I'm sure, well, I had a battle with acne, but for different reasons. It wasn't PCOS. And just, you know, the constant comment, kwani unakula nini? Kwani ulijipaka nini? You know, or,
and then advice that you didn't need. So do upake sijui aloe vera.
You know, or maybe talking about your weight gain or losing your, you know, weight or whatever, and offering you diet plans. And I think it's just, we really need to mind each other's our own business. Our own business, unless someone invites you into their journey, right? Okay, so you're now walking this journey of managing this, because you said there's really no treatment per se, and you guys you get married. So I'm going to assume that Soxy was at peace with the fact that you might not have children, because you had told him.
This guy was so at peace. But I was looking at him, I'm like,
are you okay?
Ama utaniacha uko in the middle of nini, you tell me now you're not getting children. Soxy was so okay. Of course, it hit him. The breakup, the 2 months, it really hit him, and I think he went and thought about it. I think. But he came back and he told me, if I'm to marry you, I'm not marrying you for children. I'm marrying you for you know, for companionship, for doing life together. And he kept on telling me this even when we started looking for a child. So Soxy was very at peace. And I kept on, I was like a lecturer. Unakumbuka PCOS nini? Then he'd repeat, polycystic, unakumbuka, you know, just to be sure. Because I didn't know where this journey would lead us. It was that journey you're not seeing the end.
So now when you're married, what does trying for a baby look like when you have PCOS? You've told us you're not ovulating the way, you know, ordinarily a woman should ovulate, because, you know, many women can track, this is when I'm ovulating, this is when, so this is when how do you do that? How does TTC look like?
Crazy. It's crazy, chaotic. You
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So what happened? Went back to the gynae, told him. So Soxy wanted us. Soxy knows I have PCOS. Soxy wants us to wait for 2 years, then start trying for a child. I was not understanding this guy. So of course I pressurized him, and we started trying.
Okay.
I think it was the 9th month in marriage.
Yes.
So we started trying. Of course, with pressure, anxiety as well.
Yeah.
So just went to the gynae. The gynae told me, now there's no known medication for PCOS,
Okay.
but medication for any reproductive health issue,
Yeah.
you'll be given pills.
Okay.
That's why the other doctor was asking me about family planning.
Yeah.
So like for my gynae, when we sat, when I was first diagnosed, he asked me, what do you want me to tackle?
Yes.
I was like, I want this acne
Yeah,
away.
gone, yeah.
So he gave me a pill that usually, you know, sorts out.
Yes.
But now when I was trying for the child, I needed to stop the pill.
So
and
the
now
acne comes back?
Yes, acne comes back and all the dramas and everything. But now we start trying for the
Okay.
baby. So he told me, you will stop the pill, but you try for a year.
Okay.
And if after a year you haven't gotten a child, now we'll term you as infertile. So medically,
Yeah.
you're termed infertile if you're doing it
Yes.
every time, you know, the whole year, and you're not getting pregnant.
Yes, correct.
So 1 year passed, no child, and that now crushed me because I don't know. I had these high hopes.
Yeah.
You know, it's our work. We are the ones who are doing this. I had never put God into it.
Yes.
It's us,
Yes.
and we are doing it, and we are getting pregnant.
Yes.
1 year passed, we are not pregnant. So I went back, and he told me now we need to try fertility meds.
Okay.
Fertility meds, Kambua, are hell.
Yeah.
They force your body to do something that your body is not ready to do.
Yeah.
So you'll experience headaches.
Yeah.
Mood swings, your body will not feel the same way.
Yeah.
Even your mental health will not be at the same space.
Yeah.
So I did fertility meds, I think, for a year.
Oh, wow.
So they start with little dose and they go up
Increasing.
in it, stop that dawa, change to another brand, you go. There's a time my gynae even combined both of them.
My
And I think my body was just looking at him like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yes.
So we went through fertility medication, didn't work. So the last meeting we had with him, he told us we need to do what they call ovarian drilling.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still viable now after
Okay.
research, but they go in and they clean out all these follicles in your ovaries so that now your body, because the communication comes from your brain to the ovary.
Yeah.
But because it's clogged, the communication doesn't.
Okay,
Ni kama
there's a
miti
breakdown.
mingi,
They need to clear the brush.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he told us we do ovarian drilling or we do IVF.
Okay.
So I remember looking at him and wondering, we do IVF because IVF you'll still do fertility treatment. They harvest the eggs.
Yes.
I am not ovulating, so how will that happen?
Yes.
And then both were like 500,000 and above, and it's not a guarantee. It's 50-50. You might not.
Yeah.
So we just looked at him. We're like, okay.
Yeah.
And we went home.
Oh dear.
And now that was where now, you know, the rubber meets the road.
Yes.
Because you'd placed hope in yourself at first. You'd placed hope in your gyna.
Yeah.
Now your gyna has also reached his end.
Yes.
And now there's no hope.
Yeah.
And the guy, God, who you didn't want to talk to, now you need to talk to him.
Yeah. It's like, okay, are you done?
Now we are here.
Let's talk.
So we got to that part. And I remember one day, it was just crazy. Even our relationship was not the perfect relationship at that time. We were fighting a lot because I'm thinking, I need a child.
Yes.
So I remember this day I just walked home and I told Soxy, we'll adopt after 2 years.
Okay.
And I think with saying that, you know, verbalizing it, it also cleared in my mind.
Yes.
And I just started, I relaxed.
Okay.
We started, you know, going back to kind of the way we were.
Yes.
And like was it 9 or 10 months later, I was pregnant. I was pregnant.
And okay, during this period where you were doing all these fertility treatments, did people know about it? Like your family, friends? Had you involved?
It's only my mom.
Only your mom.
Only my mom who knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Was there anyone else? And Akina Mose, because they were our best couple.
Yes.
So we'd go fight in front of them and, you know, cry. And so they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But no one else knew.
It's
not a space you bring people into.
Yes.
Because I don't know, you don't want people to start looking at you like this woman who can't get children, or this couple. I don't know. It's just a space.
I completely get it. But it had been how long was what was your waiting period?
My waiting period was 3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
So even when you're not telling people, weren't there questions starting to come up?
Of course.
Yes.
Because there was Success Pal who every time he saw me, nyinyi tu mna waste time.
Wow.
Nyinyi, I'm like, oh my God, if only you knew the tears and the work. And the visits to the gyna, because once you take a fertility pill every month, after you take it, after 5 days, you have to go see, they do a scan, they check if the eggs are growing.
Yes.
If he only knew the drama that was behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So every time I used to see him, I just used to think, wow. Yeah. Or you go to an event and they're like, si mulioana 2 years ago, na bado.
Wow.
You are like, my God, tumepewa at a timeline. After 2 years, have children.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So 9-10 months, you've sort of relaxed, you're in a different space because you've accepted, I might not get pregnant, so we will adopt in 2 years. So
and boom,
I'm
pregnant.
With no assistance.
With no assistance at all. And I remember before, now in the 3-year period, me I'd even sent people, you're going to the UK, buy for me pregnancy kits.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't trusting even the ones here.
Yeah.
The 50 bobs one, no, I wasn't trusting them. I was like, these things.
Yeah.
So I'd bought so much.
Yeah.
And this time that I figured there's something wrong. My periods hadn't come. It's not like they were regular, but you're like, sijawaona in a while.
Yes.
And I was feeling really weird. You know, nauseous, like I want to gag. I decided to buy the kit. Soxy had told me, we are not buying these pregnancy kits till we are sure.
Yeah.
I told myself, if I call this guy and tell him I'm buying a kit, he won't allow me to buy. So I remember I bought 3 and I did the test before he came home.
Yeah.
So when he comes home, I show him the kits. And they changed so fast. Soxy looked at me. Isn't his anani? You know, like, where did you borrow pregnancy kits from? And I'm like, Nizangu. But there's a time, twice actually, we had done a test and it had turned positive and I was not pregnant. When they did the blood test, I was not, my hormones were not.
Okay.
So I think that's why this was making him feel like, hey. So he was like, when we go to hospital, that's when we'll confirm that you're really pregnant.
Yes.
So we go, scan, 5 weeks pregnant. I'm like, what?
Wow.
I have a child in my womb. So we started the journey. My pregnancy journey was fairly okay. With PCOS also, pregnancies are not a guarantee. You can easily miscarry, especially in the first trimester.
Yes.
So a lot of care, a lot of medication as well, a lot of checkups.
Yeah.
But we
sailed through and had your beautiful
girl who's very tall right now.
I mean, I was telling you, I saw a billboard on Kiambu Road. I see it like every day. And I was like, that's Shiko. And I think
her
she's with her friends. Then she's with her friend. I was like, wait a minute, that's not her friend. That's her baby. That's Wairimo.
Wairimo now is 10, turning 11.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that because it's so interesting how sometimes we do everything we can. And I appreciate when people do everything that they can because there's also the other side of being ignorant where you're just existing. You don't know, you know something is probably wrong, but you've not seen a doctor and blah, blah, blah. And there's treatments you can get, there are options you can explore. But I always marvel at how things like your story of we did
everything. And then the guy who was supposed to sort me out, who is God, was just there waiting. Wewe ukimaliza, you will come.
Yeah.
Because at that time I wasn't going to church. I wasn't doing any social gatherings because I was just like, I go to church, they remember we got married, sijui when, and we don't have a child or I'm not pregnant.
Yeah. Did you, because you were pulling away from spaces, a lot of spaces that you felt were giving you pressure. Was that something you both did or was Soxy still in these spaces?
Soxy wasn't for it. He wasn't understanding why are you pulling out. It's not you who gives yourself children. So I'm not seeing why you're letting the pressure get to you. So he would choose. He would choose where to go alone. If it's something that needed to be attended to, he would go. But most of the time he'd also choose to stay with me.
So it depended
on the situation.
On the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. How was raising Wairimo, being a first-time mom?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when you knew that this would never happen, and then it happens. Even today, it didn't end at when she was a child. Even today, just going through the milestones, now she's a preteen, I'm just seeing her blossoming in front of me. Just seeing what God is doing, and then realizing, when we were trying for that child, it was not me getting pregnant. It was not Soxy providing the egg for the sperm for me to get pregnant. It was God. And even when you hear science, for that to happen, even then they cannot do anything. So just looking at this beautiful person who God gave to us, and marveling at her crawling, talking, going to school, making her own friends. It has just been a marvel in our eyes.
I'm sure. And the miracle didn't stop at Wairimo.
No, it didn't. So the guy now, oh my God, we were told, Wairimu, I labored, but I didn't manage to
deliver.
To push.
Vagina.
So I was taken in for CS.
Okay.
And then also because I had high blood pressure. So these are the risks of having PCOS.
Yeah.
Cardiovascular diseases,
Yes.
Diabetes.
Okay.
So I got high blood pressure just before I got pregnant.
Okay.
So it has stayed with me since.
Yes.
So because of that, they just thought, let's do CS. And so got the child. And the gyna told me, now take 2 years.
Okay.
And come back after, get pregnant after 2 years.
Okay.
So the options we are being given, I can't be given hormonal because I have high blood pressure.
Yes.
So the gyna told us, you guys be creative, but I want you 2 years, not
Give
not
yourself
less
that
time
break. Yes.
because of the stitch.
Yes.
So I remember a year in when we were celebrating Wairimu's first birthday, and we've tried everything, and we are like, this is tiring.
Yes.
And we think we took 3 years to get Wairimu.
Yeah.
What makes us think we will get Ethan?
Quickly.
Yeah, let's
probably
just
take another.
Yeah, let's just continue.
Joke.
First time pregnant. We went back to the guy, and again he's looking at us. I told you 2 years. So now it was also a very sensitive pregnancy because the stitch, when I started becoming bigger, it was a bit painful, but it was managed.
Yeah.
And Ethan landed.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so now you have 2 babies, a toddler
and a girl and a boy.
And a girl and a, is that what you wanted? Was that your...
I think if I got
dream?
2 girls, I'd have gone looking for the boy.
Okay.
If I got 2 boys, I'd have gone looking for the girl.
Yes.
So it was just perfect, a girl and a boy.
Yeah. So, Ethan comes, you're now trying to raise 2 little ones. How were you taking care of yourself as a mother, as a woman?
So thank God for Soxy. Soxy has been super supportive in my delivery, in the first like 6 weeks when you don't know whether you're coming in, you're going, who are you, what,
the confusion is legit. Yeah.
So he really helped me at that point because also hormones can play a huge nini on you when you get a child. And with PCOS, because already we are imbalanced, it can become now more imbalanced. So I remember, especially with Wairimu, I'd lost my dad 2 weeks before Wairimu came. So it was very sensitive. This first, I just used to break down. I think I never processed when dad was sick because I was pregnant. I was trying to hold it in because I'm thinking if I let it consume me, I might lose this pregnancy. So after Wairimu was born, I think there's a day when I cried the whole day. I think I just started, he got sick, he died. Then labor, so it was just a sensitive time. But Soxy has been super amazing. He would wake up, pick the child, change the diaper, give me to breastfeed, then put the baby down. So he really helped me around that season. That would be how I took care of myself.
Yes, and that's such a big one because every mother who's had a baby needs help, and it can look different ways, whether it's your partner, a parent, a friend, but you need somebody. You need somebody because it's a lot. Taking care of a baby is a lot. Taking care of 2 babies.
And Kwanzaa 2 under 2. Because you see now I really need them together.
Were they both breastfeeding?
Now Wairimu, once I got pregnant with Ethan, stopped breastfeeding. Then Ethan now breastfed, but now another issue with PCOS. I feel like I'm just
let them PCOS. Yes.
Breastfeeding is a challenge. You never get as much milk because you see the hormones are not working how they're supposed to be working. So with Ethan, I really struggled. With Wairimu, I was struggling because I'd see some women who would sit pump and the nini is full, and I'm like, wow, magic. Me, I'd sit there for an hour and 30 mLs. So for Ethan, I really struggled, and my milk started. And I think going back to work, dynamics, milk disappeared at 5 months.
How is that for you? Because there's always that pressure that you have to be breastfeeding until your baby. How did you deal with that, knowing that my body has really tried the best?
Let me tell you, I've appreciated my body. I think since I was diagnosed with PCOS, I just look at my body and I'm like, you know what? If today you feel like waking up and we go to work and we do it, we do it. If we don't, we sleep. So when the milk disappeared, I was like, I have 2 children. Kama ni maziwa ya ng'ombe tutaweka maji, kama ni maziwa ya mbuzi tutatafuta. We will do that and make sure that they are nourished.
That's so important, Shiko, because mothers take on a lot of guilt for different reasons. But I love that you keep saying just that, being kind to yourself.
Yes.
And knowing at every point your body is doing the best that it can. Because we beat ourselves up about everything. Oh, I went to labor and I ended up in a CS.
It was 14 hours.
It was 14 hours.
It was 14 hours and induced. And it was horrible. At the tail end, it was so horrible. I wanted to tell them, can you remove this the contractions till we get to... They're like, no, imagine it will continue till we... I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God. So thankfully with Ethan, you didn't have to labor.
No.
It was an elective CS.
Yes.
After you've had children, now how do you... did you start now managing the PCOS differently? Because now we're not trying to conceive. We're not on any of those hormones. We're not. How does that look like postpartum?
So after Ethan, I remember we sat with my gyna, and I was like, I need to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Actually, even just before, when I was pregnant with Ethan, that's when Soxy and I came out and said we were struggling with Wairimo, and this is what I have.
Yes.
And all these women started flooding my DMs and all. So after Ethan, I told my gyna, I need to get to the bottom of this and find out what is going on. And he gave me contacts of an endocrinologist and himself now. Endocrinologist.
Who is that? What does he do?
So endocrinologist is the doctor who knows how the hormones communicate.
Thank you.
So perfect for PCOS and any other condition that involves hormones. So I worked with an endocrinologist, and when we dug down, because my BP was unexplainable. They usually tell me I have BP. Is it for an old man? Okay, they call it funny because it's only my bottom one that goes up. My top one never goes up. So when I dug deeper, I found out my cortisol hormone is the one that usually gets out of hand. So cortisol is your flight or fright. The one that if a lion comes, that is...
you take off.
So mine is constantly, I'm seeing a lion.
So it's elevated.
It's elevated. So I need... And with that, it also helped me to learn I need to take things easy. Because little news will be... My body will take it like it's really big.
Oh my goodness. So when all these women are now reaching out to you and they're like, even me, first of all, how does that make you feel? Because when you're having a struggle, you feel like you're isolated.
All alone.
Ni mimi too. But what does this suddenly make you realize?
So when I was first told polycystic ovarian syndrome, I remember even telling my mom, she's like, hiyo ni ugonjwa ya wazungu. Because we've never had, we know all these other ugonjwas, we've never had something like that. And then now when I talk about it, and all these women come out from hiding because they are not telling anyone. And they are telling me, oh, my husband kicked me out because I can't get children. My husband got another wife. Or I want to commit suicide, I can't get a child. All these complications, or I'm losing children because of PCOS. And I was like, oh my God, I need to do something. And I remember Soxy telling me, you're not an expert, yes, but you can put them together. So I started a WhatsApp group. And the WhatsApp group started filling. Paka, I'm like 100 people. I'm like, oh my God. I opened social media pages. That's how PCOS Foundation was born, actually. So I opened social media. I was like, I'm not an expert, but with the little knowledge I have, and with whoever, and with whoever I can pull to come and tell us what this thing is, I will pull them. So that's how the community grew and grew and grew. And now the WhatsApp group is at 1,000 people.
What?
Yes.
Are they mostly Kenyan women?
Mostly Kenyan, because we don't want other people. We won't be able to assist them. Like if you ask me a gyna in Nigeria, I don't know a gyna.
You don't know. Oh my goodness. So 1,000 women are living with endo who are on your group.
PCOS.
PCOS. Who are on this group, and that's just the ones who know about this. So there's a lot. A lot more out there. As we wind this up, Shiko, what can women look out for that would say this is a telltale sign? So you can tell from early on that maybe I need this is a red flag, I need to get this checked. What are some of those things you can tell women? Please look out for this, be on the lookout for this.
I think the first thing is, as a woman, get to know your body. I've realized, looking at my son and my daughter, My son kind of knows what's going on in his system.
Yeah.
Kind of, because he can see.
Yes.
But for a woman, we can't see.
Correct.
So we tend to assume what is going on.
Yeah.
Let's get to know our bodies. You know, understand this is what a period entails.
Yes.
This is what happens.
Yes.
I have these phases.
Yes.
And different phases have different symptoms, for example. Like just before my period, I'll feel lethargic.
Yeah.
I'll feel tired. I
Yeah.
won't feel like doing. Just get to know how your body operates.
Yeah.
Once you know how your body operates, if anything goes off, it's like a car. You will just know.
There's a light.
Yeah, you will just know here.
Yeah.
There is something wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And are you, because you've talked about you've given a good example of your son and your daughter. Are you talking to your daughter about her body?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't want. I think because I grew up in a place where I didn't know myself actually. Even by the time I was being diagnosed with PCOS, I was not understanding what hormones are you talking about.
Yeah.
I have hormones, you know. So I want my daughter to be versed with whatever is going on with her.
Yeah.
So we started talking about everything.
Yeah.
And she's looking forward to.
Yes.
I think because I've also plated it like it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
You're becoming a woman.
And it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once it happens, now we'll take it up from there.
Right.
Another thing, because I have PCOS, chances are, God forbid, that it might trickle down to my children. So I need to be aware and to look at her and see what's going on.
Okay.
You know, spot acne. It's not bad to have acne, but you know, horrible, aggressive acne. Yes. I need to check that out. Okay. I need to see how her menses will come and be. Are they painful?
Yes.
Are they not? Another thing I tell women, missing your menses is not a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We were created to have, our menses actually control every single thing, even our mental health.
Yes.
So your menses need to come every month.
Right.
If they don't come at least in 4 months, you can miss 1 month, 2 months because of food, travel, all those.
Yes, exercise.
But if they disappear for very long, please get help.
Yes.
Please check what's going on in your body.
Yeah. We'll be later on having a menstrual doctor actually talk to us because of what you have rightfully said. Our cycle is so important. Your menses are so important. Don't celebrate that.
No.
This month I'm not, unless you're pregnant,
you
know.
You know.
Yes. But your body should be doing that. Certain things your body should be doing. Shiko, I want you to encourage women who may be watching you today, and they are. First, you know, there's also that category of women who know that something is wrong with their body.
But they haven't gone.
They haven't gone.
I have
they
them.
Don't want
I have
to
them
hear.
in my DM. Naona kuna kitu, but sasa kikwenda kwa daktari.
There
I'm
you
like,
go.
oh, go.
Yeah.
Imagine when you go, you know, it's those things we are told, ungekuja last month.
Ooh,
yeah. So just go, get it checked, know what is ailing you. Like what I've said, after I got my children, I decided, let me dig deeper and find out what is this that is really ailing me.
Yeah.
And after I knew, now it's very simple things that make me be whole.
Yes.
Like now, if I walk in the morning,
Yeah.
my energies will be, you know, rejuvenated. If I sleep well, so because I'm managing the cortisol.
Right.
If I sleep well, if I manage, you know, information coming to me, I won't be so messed up. And those are things that I can do. I don't need any medication.
Yes.
I don't need anything. It's just things that I can do.
Yes.
So just go, get checked, let them know what the problem is.
Yeah.
The worst you can be told is, hii hatuwezi kusaidia.
Yeah.
And then now from there, know how you're going to handle.
Find the next step.
Yes.
Encourage a woman who, just like you, she's been told you probably can never have children. This PCOS monster is a real monster, and she just feels that her world is shattered.
Okay.
Can you look into that camera?
So I think first to just encourage women who've been diagnosed with PCOS, it's not a death sentence. I'm still here. I'm turning 43. Aki Wakambo, I'm turning 43 this year. I'm getting old. 40 anyway. So it's not a death sentence. I've lived with it now, I think 15, 16 years thereabout. And I'm still whole, I'm still healthy. All you need to do is manage the symptoms. So most people are getting diagnosed and they're not managing the symptoms. If you do not manage the symptoms, as I've said, there are risks. So there are cardiovascular diseases, there's diabetes. You don't want it to get to that extreme. So go get checked. know that you have, if you find out that you have PCOS, it's not a death sentence. You will hold your children and you hold them natural, and you will not need any assistance. Because actually what they've shown is as you grow older, you start ovulating. Your body starts getting back to, we are the ones who will be having late menopause, by the way. We'll still be the girls around. So it's not a death sentence. It's something you can manage. And right now we are so many. We are so many and we're talking about it. So just come. We'll hug and hold you and walk with you through this journey.
How can women join this community?
Simple. Just go to our Instagram page, PCOS Foundation Kenya. Leave a DM. Actually, you don't have to leave a DM. On the what is called on the bio, there's a link to our WhatsApp group. So just join the WhatsApp group and let's start talking from there.
That's fantastic. Here is a community. I have brought you a community. Join now. Are you on all social media platforms?
As PCOS Foundation. Apart from X, because that's a jungle for us, we are on Instagram and we are on Facebook.
Okay. Shiko, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Please give our love to Ethan, Wairimo, and Soxy.
I will.
The day we have Father's Edition.
You'll bring him, and then he'll change my story.
Yeah, I have a feeling he will change the story, but Nisawa, we had yours first, we believe you. Thank you, Shiko.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all so much for sitting through our conversation. We hope it has built you, encouraged you, given you new information. Go ahead and join the community. We'll put the handles over there so that you can connect with Shiko, but also get to be part of a community that will support and walk with you. We'll see you again next time. Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.
The reason why your menstrual cycle is important is because these hormones that fluctuate throughout our month, they affect so many areas of our bodies, literally from our brains, heart, joints, skin, a lot of things. There are some I haven't mentioned, but even gut health is connected to our hormones. So we should view the cycle not so much as leading me to my periods or leading me to ovulate, but rather hacking it for our own health.